Hello, you. For the last few months, we have been delivering music terms for you to devour, an education, Songs Brew style. It's pop quiz time. If you have recently subscribed, all the reference posts are linked so you can catch up and you can have an honorary pass. Congrats. Songs Brew editorial, The Studied Ear. Over the last few months, Songs Brew, US, have been running an unofficial curriculum. Flow pockets, headroom, silence, dissonance, sidechain, hallucination, all of those good bits of music that sometimes we can't find the words to describe. Most of the time, we don't know. This week, we find out if you are paying attention. 10 questions, 3 options each. Read the question, pick your answer, then scroll down for the reveal. Keep score as you go. Results at the bottom. Q1, Flow Pocket. At 90 BPM, a pocketed wrapper sits how far behind the grid? A, plus 5 mimmers, barely noticeable, tight as a drum machine. B, plus 30 minners. The pocket lives here. C, plus 166 minners, one full 16th note gap. B, plus 30 minners. At 90 BPM, the gap between 16th notes is 166 minners. The pocket lives in roughly 30 minners of that, which doesn't sound like much, and isn't. Jay Dilla turned quantize off entirely on his MPC 3000 and played the drums in by hand. His snares sat 30-50 meters behind. His kicks often sat ahead, two hands pulling in opposite directions, and somehow that was the most grooved thing anyone had ever heard. Anything past 30 meres and you're not pocketed, you're just late. There's a difference. Read, Disgusting Flow. Pocket, Hear It, Donuts, Jay Dilla, Hip Hop. Untitled, How Does It Feel? D'Angelo, R&B. Talking to Hardest, Gigs, UK Rap. Q2, Flow Pocket. What is the difference between late and pocketed? A. Late is always at higher BPMs. Pocket is a slower tempo thing. B. A pocketed rapper drifts, sometimes ahead, sometimes behind. C. A pocketed rapper picks an offset and holds it, bar after bar. A late rapper drifts. C. Late is an accident. Behind the beat is a decision. The tell is consistency. A pocketed rapper picks an offset and holds it, through pace changes, through everything. Strip the beat from a Pusha T verse and the internal rhythm is still there, completely intact. Strip it from a sloppy rapper and you'll hear someone rushing and dragging with nothing to hold on to. One is operating their own private grid. The other is just late. These are very different things. Red, Disgusting Flow, Pocket, Hear It, DNA, Kendrick Lamar, Hip Hop, Lost Ones, Lauryn Hill, Neo Soul, Shutdown, Skepta, Grime. Q3, Crushed Headroom. You turn up a crushed record. What happens? A. It gets louder and the dynamic range comes back. B. The streaming platform compensates and re-adds the headroom. C. It gets louder. The dynamic range does not come back. C. Unfortunately, volume is the knob you have. Loudness is baked into the recording. Turn a crushed record up and it gets louder. It does not get better. It cannot get better. 16,000 fans signed a petition asking Metallica to remix Death Magnetic. Badly brick-walled, genuinely difficult to listen to. The band shrugged. Those same tracks on the Guitar Hero 3 disc sounded enormous, because the game used a less compressed version. Fans ripped it and shared it. The lesson was not learned. Red, Crushed Headroom, Hear the Difference, Death Magnetic, Metallica, Crushed. OK Computer, Radiohead, Headroom Intact. Crack the Sky, Mastodon, proof it did not have to be that way. Q4, Crushed Headroom. Spotify's target LUFS is A. 6 LUFSB, 23 LUFSC, 14 LUFSC, 14 LUFS, Spotify 14, Apple Music 16, Amazon 14. You can master as loud as you like. The platform turns you back down anyway. Every record that sacrificed dynamic range to be louder on a CD now sounds the same as everything else on streaming, except worse, because the transients are gone. Bands gave up the thing that made the music feel alive. For nothing. Red, Crushed Headroom, Hear the Headroom, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, Wilco, Alt Rock. Lateralis, Tool, Metal. Third, Portishead, Electronic. Q5, an obscene sustain. What is melisma? A. The notation symbol for a note held beyond its written duration. B. The vibrato technique used in gospel vocals. C. multiple pitches on one syllable. C, multiple pitches on one syllable. And A is the fermata, so if you got those mixed up, go back and read both issues. Melisma is the technique, the approach road to the obscene note. Gospel built it. Mahalia Jackson to Aretha, to Cissy Houston, to Whitney. A straight line. Bill Withers held a single note for 18 seconds on Lovely Day. Chester Bennington held one for 17 seconds on Given Up and dropped octaves while doing it without reducing force. A generation of talent show contestants nearly ruined it. It survived because it was too powerful to kill. Red and obscene. Sustain Hear It. I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston. Pop. Gospel. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You. Aretha Franklin. Soul. Halo. Beyonce. R&B. Q6. Fermata. What does a fermata tell a performer? A. Hold the note for exactly twice its written value. B. Hold the note beyond its written duration. No fixed length. The performer decides. C. Rest in silence for as long as feels right. B. No fixed length. The performer decides. Not twice the value, not a set amount. Just hold until it's done. The fermata is where the human takes over from the score. When a live singer holds it longer than the recording, they are not going rogue. They are reading the room. John Cage's 433 is technically one long fermata on silence. Miles Davis said it's the notes you don't play. Dead air isn't the wait for the good part. It's part of the good part. Read. Fermata, hear the silence. Exit music for a film. Radiohead. Alt rock. Blue and Green. Miles Davis. Jazz. Skinny Love. Bon Iver. Folk. Q7. Sidechain breathing at 128 BPM. Where should the release be set to make the swell return just in time for the next kick? Yeah, a tough one. A. 50 minutes. B. 469 minutes. The full beat interval. C. 250, 350 ms. C. 250, 350 ms. And the release is the whole feeling. At 128 BPM, there are 469 ms between beats. Set the release at 250, 350 minutes, and the duct sound swells back just before the next kick pushes it down again. That swell is the exhale. Too fast and it snaps back. Too slow and it misses. Deadmo 5 took this further and sidechained to a ghost kick, a kick that is completely silent, existing only to trigger the compressor. The track breathes around a drum you can't even hear. That is a very cool trick. Read, sidechain breathing. Hear it, let it happen. Tame Impala. Psych rock. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Daft Punk, electronic. Oxytocin, Billie Eilish, pop. Q8, a twang. Not a twang, medieval theorists called it Diabolus in musica, the devil in music. What interval is this? A, the minor second, 2 adjacent semitones. B, the tritone, 3 whole tones, diminished fifth or augmented fourth. C, the major seventh, 1 semitone below the octave. B, the tritone, the devil in music, and it really did get called that. 3 whole tones. Medieval theorists called it Diabolus in musica and banned it from sacred composition because it sounded morally threatening. Jimi Hendrix built Purple Haze on it, because why not? Black Sabbath opened their entire career on the first note of their first song on their first album with it. Read, a twang, not a twang, hear it. Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix, rock. Black Sabbath, metal. Around the World, Red Hot Chili Peppers, funk rock. Q9, involuntary hallucination. You are hearing bass on a phone speaker. Where is the bass actually coming from? A. The phone generates sub-bass through its amplifier chip. B. Streaming platforms add a bass enhancement layer before delivery. C. Your auditory cortex calculates the missing fundamental from the harmonics above it. C. You are the bass. The speaker produces the harmonics above the fundamental, 200 Hz, 300 Hz, 400 Hz, and up. Your auditory cortex finds the pattern, calculates the missing frequency, and generates the note that isn't there. J. F. Schouten described this in 1940. Licklider confirmed it in the 1950s at Bell Labs, after discovering that a phone that cut everything off below 340 Hz could still reproduce a man's voice clearly. The fundamental was missing. The brain just made it up anyway. You have been hallucinating bass your entire listening life and probably thought your phone sounded decent. Read, involuntary hallucination. Test it. Swimming pools, Kendrick Lamar, hip hop. Bad Guy, Billie Eilish, pop. Archangel, Burial, electronic. Play all three on your phone speaker. The bass that shouldn't be there is there. Q10. The full syllabus. D'Angelo's Voodoo is 78 minutes of what? A. Crushed headroom. The whole record is brick walled. B. Pocket. The most pocketed record ever made. C. Fermata. Silence used as a compositional device throughout. B. Pocket, obviously. 78 minutes of the most considered groove ever put on record. Not headroom, it's beautifully mastered, actually. Not fermata, though the silence is used well. Pocket. D'Angelo breathes at his own pace, not the song's. Every note he holds opens into the next one. Questlove plays with so much internal swing the grid basically dissolves. If you try to find the click, you cannot. We have tried, many times. We will die on this hill. Rid. Disgusting flow. Pocket. Hear it. Voodoo. D'Angelo. R&B soul. Untitled. 07. Kendrick Lamar. Hip hop. Brown Sugar. D'Angelo. Soul. Start with Untitled. How does it feel? And try to find the grid. You won't. How did you do? 10-10. First class. You have been paying attention. You have the ears and the vocabulary. Congratulations, graduate. 8 to 9-10. Honors. Strong. A couple of gaps, but your ears are well trained. Go back and read the ones you missed. 6 to 7-10. Pass. You know more than most, but there are some issues you skimmed. Go back. Read them properly this time. 4 to 5-10. Resit required. You are retaining some of it, but not enough. The back catalogue is waiting. 0 to 3-10. Start over. Go back to Disgusting Flow Pocket and work forward. We believe in you. Drop your score in the comments. No shame. We forget too. See you next Thursday.